Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ba'd. Yesterday we read the hadith concerning how a person should, be glancing or looking during the prayer. That the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he prohibited us from IIltifaat in Salah. And we said IIltifaat basically is to be looking and wandering around. You look at the roof, you look at your left, you look at your right, for no reason in the prayer. And this, as we know, is not permissible. And he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is one of the ways that shaitan snatches from the reward of a person's prayer. So the best thing is that a person looks towards the Qibla, towards where they're going to be prostrating. There is a hadith that has been reported by Ibn Hibban and authenticated by Imam Nasruddin al-Albani, that the Prophet said he loved that whenever he's praying, that the face should be looking towards the place of prostration. And there are a lot of athar, or statements of past predecessors, people who came before us, that also share this sentiment. So the question then comes, if a person is in ruku, for instance, will he still be able to look at the place of prostration? Because there's another hadith that says when you are in ruku, you should not be raising your head up, putting your head down. So this way, it is better for a person to just let their head be and their sight to remain in the direction of where they are making their ruku, to not create unnecessary stress. Another one also applies when you are making tashahud. Where should a person be looking at? So should you still be looking at the place of prostration? As we know that we also have authentic hadith that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, whenever he's making tashahud, he raises his hand, and there are different narrations that says whether he stays or he, moves it like this. But the point here is that his eyes is fixed towards it. So when you are making tashahud, then the requirement to look at the place of prostration no longer applies. So instead, the person should focus on, their fingers when they are making tashahud. Inshallah, when we read the book Sifat Salat al-Nabi, we will go through many of these issues, inshallah. But the next hadith is hadith of Abi Marthad Kannaz ibn al-Husayn radiyallahu anhu قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول لا تصلوا إلى القبور ولا تجلسوا عليها لا تصلوا إلى القبور ولا تجلسوا عليها رواه مسلم. وعن أبي الجهيم عبد الله بن الحارث ابن الصمة الأنصاري رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لو يعلم المار بين يدي المصلي ماذا عليه لكان أن يقف 40 خيرا له من أن يمر بين يديه. قال الراوي لا أدري قال 40 يوما أو 40 شهرا أو 40 سنة متفق عليه. So the first hadith is the hadith of Marthad, Abu Marthad Kannaz bin Hussein, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, I heard Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, do not offer your prayer, your salah, facing the graves. Do not offer your prayer or salah facing the graves, and do not sit on them. Even if the intention is not to pray towards the grave, this is enough evidence that the person should not do it. Do not offer your prayer facing the graves, and you should not sit on them. Because there is a group of Muslims, they believe you can make tawassul. You go to the grave of the people and you do all this and that. All of these are elements of shirk. Even if a person do not intend, to call on those graves. Because why can't you call on Allah Azza wa Jal? Why must you do it, in the presence of a dead body or a grave? Not to now talk about people who actually call on the grave. Then they claim to be Muslims. Allah says, إِن تَدْعُوهُمْ لَا يَسْمَعُوا دعاءكم ولو سمعوا ما استجابوا لكم ويوم القيامة يكفرون بشرككم ولا ينبئك مثل خبير. If you were to call them, they cannot hear. And even if they hear, they cannot respond to you. And on the day of Qiyamah, they will free themselves of this shirk. Allah called it shirk. وَلَا يُنَبِّئُكَ مِثْلُ خَبِيرٍ. So the point is, anything that has to do with graves should not be entertained in ibadah. Some quote and unquote Muslim, their sunnah is that they build masjids around grave. There has to be a grave of a righteous person in that masjid before they can call it a proper masjid. And they say they are Muslims. So this is not something to be entertained in. This is haram completely. We ask Allah to save us from it. The second hadith, also related to Salah, has to do with passing in front of someone who is praying. So narrated Abu Juhaym, Abdullah ibn al-Harith, may Allah be pleased with him, he said, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if the person who passes in front of a worshipper engaged in Salah, if he realizes the enormity, that is how big the sin is, the enormity of the sinfulness of this act, it would have been better for him to wait for 40 than to pass in front of him. That is, the one who wants to pass in front of the praying person, if he knows how big the sin is, then he would have waited for 40. So then the companion said, I'm not sure whether he said 40 days, 40 months, or 40 years. He's not sure. The point here is that better to wait or find a way around it. You can put a sutra in front of the person if he doesn't have a sutra. So you can go behind the sutra. Or you wait for him to finish his prayer. If he's using you as a sutra, for instance, this way, then there is no problem. We ask Allah to give us the correct understanding. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum.
You can have an emergency if you are in a foreign country.
No.
Like for myself also, it happened.
No.
It was Maghrib, and we had a disease with us. Body, we had to bury it. It was in the grave, so we had no other alternative. We had to pray, but our intention was not to pray on.
So you mean the disease?
We were in a foreign country. Yeah, the deceased passed away, and as a Muslim Sunnah, you're supposed to make husul. We did the husul same place and everything. They had a mobile husul. Okay. So because of the time factor and to follow the Sunnah of the Muslim, as when a Muslim dies, you're supposed to bury him.
Yeah. So you mean the grave was in the masjid?
The masjid was in the grave. Yeah. As like places like India, Pakistan, those countries.
Oh, I see. I see.
So you can have
in this case, these are like exceptions, not the norm, right?
No.
Yeah, sure. Jazakumullah khair.
سكت في مساكن الدين ظلم. Is this us?
Alaykum salam wa barakatuh. You know this ayah?
Yeah, I know. If Rabbi read, I think it's us.